Hey everyone, so welcome to my channel, Houseplanty Goodness. My name is Memo, and here is a place that I like to talk about my big passion. Some of it you might be able to see behind me, which is tropical houseplants. Now, when it comes to tropical houseplants, I'll kind of go into a bit more detail about the morphology, about what I do in care, maybe throw in a few scientific facts just for good measure, just because I like to geek out essentially. And then if you do kind of like content like this, if you like this specific video, do consider dropping a like down below. It lets me know that you like videos like this, so I should bring out more videos that are similar. If you're getting into your houseplants and you want to see more content like this more frequently, every week I'll try to bring out 2 to 3 videos, so do consider subscribing as well down below. And yeah, let's dive into today's topic, which you might be able to see slightly in front of me here, or just slightly behind me actually, is the Monstera Dubia. Now, Dubia, I'm not entirely sure what the pronunciation is because I've never actually heard somebody pronouncing it who doesn't know, or who does know what it's supposed to sound like. So apologies if I'm butchering the name ever so slightly. But the reason why I wanted to talk about my Dubia or Dubia Monstera today is because it struggled for a very long time. I don't know if there might be a video on my channel when I had them. They were a bit smaller, the leaves were curling, they were going up a moss pole. It wasn't generally happy, the internodal spaces were quite large, it wasn't shingling. However, now since moving into this place, and it's my own house essentially now, I'm not renting anymore, I've done something that looks a bit janky, but essentially it's a waterproof membrane that you sometimes get for gardening, and I've just kind of like nailed it onto the back of a wall. I've put a trellis up, and this is in my conservatory at the moment. But what you might be able to see, and I'll see if I can bring you in a bit closer, so you might be able to see that it is attaching and shingling quite nicely within the kind of wall area there. Now, if I bring you back out again, the thing that I've kind of discovered with this is as soon as it kind of found something flat to go up against is the moment that it started shingling. The leaves have like at least tripled in size already. The roots that are going onto the back of this are actually quite substantial. I don't know whether or not you'll be able to see, there's a big root. Well, you can kind of see it there. There's a big root that is there. And yeah, really happy because it's starting to grow the way that it's meant to. And I think for a lot of people with the Monstera Dubia or Dubia, again, I don't know which one of the two it is, they buy it for the more juvenile leaves, which are kind of got this silvery pattern on them, and the larger they get, they will get much larger, and they'll start to fenestrate and get splits in them, a bit more like a regular Monstera deliciosa. And they have a large form, and it was a shame because a lot of people really weren't that into the bigger form of the more mature form of the Monstera Dubia. But actually there's a lot more people now that are selling it, there's a lot more people that are buying it, which I think is really cool because this plant is quite an interesting one when it does mature as well. Now, in terms of care, I have got these in a terracotta pot. And they do have my usual airy aroid soil mix in there. And this is another one that's quite different as well. So there's a Rhaphidophora hayi and there's a Rhaphidophora cryptantha. I've got the cryptantha. Those don't seem to need soil for their roots to attach into. They will quite happily root in to the back of sphagnum if you've got it on a kind of flat surface. The Dubia, from what I'm seeing, or the Dubia, seems like it needs to have a rooted pot to start off from, and then it will start growing upwards. And that has been what I've seen with most people, even some long-term collectors. There's usually a pot, it's usually quite a small one, because there's some of the basic roots that are happening at the bottom of the plant. And actually that's the quite interesting thing. A lot of times when you see the pot with the soil underneath the Monstera Dubia, it's quite small in relation to the rest of the plant. So as you can see, there's some of these roots that they're using to shingle up things. So there's obviously, they're getting some moisture and nutrients from those potentially as well. I don't think this is getting any kind of moisture, probably is getting some moisture because my conservatory, which is where I'm in at the moment, you might be able to see the fan above me, which is kind of like rotating. But so it's getting some of the moisture from the air kind of essentially, but it's also kind of helping it support itself and go upwards. But a really, really cool plant. It does take a bit of a learning curve, at least I found, but really happy that it's slowly starting to go upwards. And I'm seeing a lot of other people that are kind of collectors who've got this plant and it's growing really fast for them. But I think the one thing that's quite common for all of them is it's against a flat surface like a wall, and it grows like mad. The ones that have got it on, say, on wood, and there's some sphagnum, I found, and even I tried that as well, it didn't work as well as just literally something like this on the back of a wall, and it needs a completely flat surface and it will grow upwards, and it grows quite quickly. That has been my experience with this plant. If you've got any of your own experiences then you'd like to share some of that knowledge, please do consider dropping it in the comments down below. Let's have that conversation. And yeah, I think that's everything I wanted to say about this. Yeah, I think that's it. Watering might be the only other thing I wanted to mention is this is getting watered now because the pots are so small and terracotta and light airy soil mix again about every 3 or 4 days at the moment. It's drying out that quickly, so bear that in mind. But yeah, I think that's everything for now. So hopefully you've enjoyed. Hopefully you have a great rest of the day, and hopefully I shall see you here again soon. Thanks. Bye.